Silk like a walrus out of water. And good now, you just a flopping across these people's stage.
Meh. Silky nutmeg ganache. Shantae, you stay.
Hey guys, it's your girl Ayesha, and I'm here dishing up your Drag Race lowdown, and Lord have mercy, I have never come so fast to come and film a Drag Race video. Oh my goodness, like... Now, I know that I always do things in chronological order, so I'm gonna have to do it that way, but I just gotta get it off my chest. Silky? Safe? Again? After that? You're having a laugh. Like, seriously, come on. That was the biggest hot mess I've ever seen. I just can't believe it. Like, I genuinely cannot get over it. It was shocking. It was absolutely shocking. Even Rue was just like, do you know what? Let me not get into it now because it doesn't belong in this section. If you're new to my channel, then hello and welcome. This is the Drag Race section, okay? If you're a big Drag Race fan and you'd like to get in with all the gossip, this is the place where you need to be. I have everything put up in a little playlist for you, so if you missed last week's episode, you can quickly run back, catch that, and then come back here for some more tea. So even though this episode ended on quite a sour note for me personally, the rest of the episode was hilarious. I thought it was really, really good. So first off, we kick off with the mini challenge. Now, they're doing the slap out of it challenge, which last year saw Rue pretty much almost getting sued for slapping Ayesha O'Hara in the face. That was quite hilarious. So to avoid any of that, Rue was like, yeah, you guys are just gonna have to be slapping yourselves because I ain't slapping you, I ain't getting sued. We didn't actually say those exact words, but that's basically kind of what he was getting at. So basically, the queens are just like reading each other and just giving like the best bitch slaps that they possibly can, and they were hilarious. I have to say, I really enjoyed Nina's actual slaps. I thought her reactions were good, but her actual slaps were really, really good. Like, they looked like they actually... Do you know what I'm saying? Silky was very, very funny in her reactions. Kel Supreme, we all know that she's gonna be like that. She's gonna be loud, she's gonna be falling all over the place, she's gonna be rolling around like a barrel. It is what it is. She was very, very funny. I have to give her that. So at least she did something right today. The winner of the mini challenge was Brooklyn, and I think this was very, very well deserved. Brooklyn, she has to put dance into everything. Every time that she got slapped, my girl's doing pirouettes. Everything before she hits the floor. I was dying. I was full-blown screaming. It's a good job that my son isn't here tonight, right? He's sleeping at his nan's house tonight because I was screaming the house down laughing, and I know I would have woken him up if he was still here. There was one read that I thought was hilarious. Evie and Vanjie. Evie was like, well, you know, you're always playing the same character all the time. Vanjie was like, yes, so are you. You're always being an ugly Naomi Smalls, and just went clap in her face. I'm like, ah, I think I called her an ugly Naomi Smalls. You're rude. Wigs were coming off and everything. Akira and Silky, when they were getting into it, man, like, you could have just put that in the street and that would have just been like a full-blown fight. Like, naturally, they're fighting about hair. Silky saying how Akira ain't got no edges. Akira said, yeah, because it's all on your chin. I was like, ah! Rude! So, Brooklyn won the mini challenge, and quite rightly so. She was fantastic. And so she got the honor of pairing up the queens with some previous queens who came back. So Rue picked his favorites to come back. I noticed that Raja wasn't there. Good. Listen, if she was there, listen, I would have been sick of the sight of her. She got on my nerves. So we are greeted by Soju, Honey Davenport, who I'm sure was just so glad just to be back in the workroom, bless her heart. Who else was there? We had Plastique, we had Ariel, Versace, we had Scarlet Envy, and of course we have Miss Sugarcane. Honey. It was good to see Sugar back again, even though she only left like a few days ago, but I just felt happy just to see her back because I love Sugarcane. So Brooklyn pairs up all the queens, and at first I thought actually she's actually being quite kind. So she took Plastique for herself. Obviously Plastique is very poised and very graceful and very pretty, so you know, naturally she's going to take somebody who is easy to do. I mean, why make it harder for yourself, right? Why take on a challenge? So who did she pair up now? So we have Akira and Honey Davenport, which I thought was quite nice. You know, at least the same race, they're gonna use the same foundation. It's all good. That makes things a lot easier. And then we also had Evie Oddly and Scarlet Envy, who I actually think worked very, very well together. We then had, I'm trying to do this all from memory now. We had Vanjie and Ariel Versace, who worked like a dream. And we also had Nina and Sugarcane, who obviously paired together very well because they're just both very, very nice people. So I was happy to see that. But then that meant that we have Silky and Soju. What a way to give her a challenge. I mean, this is the woman who does her makeup with a Sharpie. Silky, not Soju. She does her makeup with a Sharpie, and she has absolutely no shame about that. You know, she would draw on her eyebrows with a Sharpie. She would draw on her lip liner with a Sharpie. I wouldn't be surprised if she glues her eyelashes on with a Sharpie. What I thought was hilarious was just the way how you could just tell that Silky was not having it at all. Like, she was not happy. And everyone's looking at her like, why are you looking at that? And she's like, what? I'm smiling. So for this challenge, it's a family resemblance challenge. We've seen it many, many times before. And I am happy though that this was just their challenge. Like, it wasn't as if the queens were there and then like they could come back into the competition. Like, it was top 6 and that was it. It was staying that way. So great. So in the workroom, everyone's trying to, like, you know, pair up each other's outfits and everything, get everybody ready. I really do think that Vanjie most definitely stepped out of the box on this one. She took her time with Ariel and really tried to make her look as best as possible. It came to light that Soju cannot walk in heels at all. Which would kind of explain her bell silhouette that she came up with on week 1, which completely covered over her feet. In fact, was she even wearing heels then? I don't think that she was. I think that she was flat-footed. So when Silky's like, well, you gonna learn today, puts her in heels. It was astonishing to see how badly that she walks in those things. She could not do it. Silky was not impressed. She was fearing for her life. And like, she thinks that Brooklyn did it to be shady. Brooklyn was all like, well, no, you know, I tried to pair up everybody nicely, blah, blah, blah. Rue was just like, no, you know, you just want shady bitch. Now for some more tea. Right, so Ariel says to Vanjie, so I hear that some of my hair's gone missing. Vanjie's like, oh, we're gonna talk about that. Okay, so it turns out that Ariel actually left the hair by accident. She only left one wig for Silky, and that was it. The rest of them were all left by accident. Very easy to do, you know. You're upset, you're stressed, you've just been kicked off the show, you're crying your eyes out, you can't see anything, you think you got everything and you haven't, you leave, you go in the car, you say your goodbyes, and you get home and you realise that your whole like rack of wigs has disappeared. And these greedy queens just took it. If we just dial back to when Plastique was like, she left that hair there for me, she left it all there in my station because we're best friends. So now it's time for the queens to get ready to go on the runway and strut their stuff with their sisters. Now, Miss Akira, we got some talking to do. Child, you are a pot stirrer and a half, okay? How are you gonna just stand there, happily beating Honey's mug like this, and just being like, so, let's talk about this hair situation in front of everybody? Like, people are like trying to get in the zone to go on the runway and go and win this challenge, and here you are, knowing that you're not a part of this drama. So, like, you're gonna just sit back and just watch everything just unfurl because you have to go open up your mouth. Girl, you're rude. She is something else. So that happened, and that is when Ariel got kind of quiet. So she wasn't as like upset as she was previously, but like, boy, people were tense. Like it was a very, very tense moment because Plastique seemed to think that she and Ariel were best friends and that all the way to the left for her. Clearly not. But yeah, and Raja had taken a wig home, and that was like the one wig that Ariel really cared about. All of a sudden now there's only one wig that she really cares about. Before it was like, oh, you know, I want them all back sort of thing. Akira also said, and Scarlet Envy said that she was surprised to see that Vanjie and Silky were still here in the competition. And it's the way she's just there. She cracks me up. She's literally there, just doing Honey's face, just saying, so, Scarlet, seems to me that you said that you're surprised to still see Silky here in the competition. Is that true? I'm just not even looking at this point. Like, Honey could be looking a hot mess. She don't even care. Is that true? What you got to say for yourself? How is it any of your business? The way that she was proper like almost like snooping on them when Scarlett was talking about it to like Evie and somebody else, I've forgotten now, but she was chatting about it earlier. And Akira was just like, drama. I'm all ears. Girl, you bad. You bad. She just made the situation so tense. That meant then that Silky got all up in her feelings and Evie got all up in her feelings because Evie was then trying to defend Scarlett. Evie just talks the real tea, right? At the end of the day, Evie doesn't BS anybody. She literally will just say it how it is. Even if she's your friend, she will tell you about yourself if you're in the wrong, okay? That's how Evie is. She just says it as it is. A spade is a spade. That's black, that's white, that's the end of. Whereas Silky takes everything very, very personally. And if you say one thing negative about her, it's a whole big attack. Yet, she can say negative things about everybody else, and that's okay, because that's her opinion. But no one else can have an opinion about her. I can't stand two-faced people. So then Vanjie then chimed in and was all like, well, Scarlett, you should have gone home from that whole like 6-way lip sync in week 2 because you can't even move. So there. So it is now time for the runway, and RuPaul looks gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. I'm living for this very, very simple golden Grecian gown-esque kind of number, what she's got going on. Stunning. I loved the shade of blonde of the hair. I thought it went very, very well with the gold. Face, beautiful as per usual. Looked like she stepped fresh out of Hercules, coming like one of the muses. I was living for that because I love me some Hercules. Oh, Hercules. It's fabulous. Fabulous. So up first we've got Evie Oddly and Scarlet Envy. Now in the workroom I looked at this outfit and I was a bit like, I'm not entirely sure what is going on here. There's a whole heap of jeans that's just been cut up and made into a dreadlocks hat, and it's all just falling apart and I don't get it. But the way that they sold that on the runway, like, I've not watched Fashion Photo Review yet, so I haven't seen the pictures, but it probably didn't photograph that well. I'm just guessing. But the way that they sold it on the runway, I totally bought it. I was like, actually, it's very Evie, it's very odd, and they do bear a family resemblance because they're painted the same and they have their choreography down. So, like, I didn't have an issue with it. Oddly, I was into it. Nina West and Sugar Cane. Now, I love me some rainbow, right? I'm actually wearing rainbow today in honor of Nina West, right? Because just, I'll get emotional if I start talking about it now. But yeah, in her honor, I'm wearing my rainbow today. I get where she was going with this, okay? But it looked a little bit too costumey, right? Personally. And I didn't really see much of a family resemblance between the two. So Nina had the pride flag on, and Sugar had the trans flag on. Both, you know, nice outfits in their own right, but together it just looked a little bit costumey, a little bit fancy dressy. And I think that's probably something that was her downfall. Plus, she didn't paint Sugar very well. I didn't actually look at Sugar and think that she was Sugar looking at her makeup, because Sugar paints very, very beautifully, and I think that Nina might have just struggled just a little bit here. What I love about it though is the fact that she came in with a message, you know, her in the pride flag, Sugar in the trans flag, coming together, everybody say love. It was a beautiful moment and I loved that. I was just a little bit worried about what the judges were going to say about this ensemble together. So whilst everybody's all getting in their feelings in the workroom due to Akuria's pot stirring, she's there on the runway with Miss Honey Davenport looking divine and perfectly painted, hair perfectly coiffed, looking absolutely bloody stunning, in my opinion. Both of them stunning. Akuri is terrible, man. She knew what she was doing. But yeah, I am hands down in love with both of their looks. If I had to choose one of the dresses, I'll go for Akuria's one. I love the way that the yellow popped in her skin. She and I are kind of a similar shade. I'll have that, please. Thank you very much. It was actually quite nice to see Honey Davenport try out Texas drag, because it is very different to New York drag. And especially when we look at what Honey left us in, what looked like a bin bag, in my opinion, and then to see her elevated to this absolute goddess level, I thought it was really interesting, and I think Akira did a really, really good job. And then the car crash happened. Silky, what on earth was she wearing? So the hip pads were still lumpy bumpy, like we could all see it. The belt thing that she had hanging off of her was just an absolute hot mess. Soju's makeup was horrendous. What is this big hefty piece of burgundy cheek what she gives to the poor woman? What is this? Honestly, she made her look a hot mess. That being said, Soju did work those bell bottoms, and she did actually manage to kind of walk in heels. But for me, Silky's look was unforgivable. Now let's have a conversation about Vanjie and Ariel. Well, so they come out in these big, massive organza ruffled coats, right? One black and one white, and then they just open them and drop them, and it was just a beautiful sight to behold. Very what's it called, gentlemen prefer blondes, very that, and it was just beautiful. Vanjie did a brilliant job at painting Ariel. One more thing I forgot to mention as well, the other queens weren't allowed to do any of their makeup at all, which is why Soju looked like a hot mess. But yeah, they had these big massive like pink mittens stuck onto their hands to make sure that they couldn't do any of their makeup. Vanjie did an absolutely perfect job on Ariel. They definitely looked like sisters. Ariel had the same mannerisms as Vanjie. You know, they were very, very glamorous going down the runway. I was living for what Vanjie was wearing. I think that she really, really elevated herself this week. And I would even go as far to say that she deserved to win it. I thought that she did brilliantly. They even went backwards on the runway afterwards. Miss Vanjie. Miss Vanjie. Brooklyn Heights and Plastique Tiara had a whole story going on, and I was living for it. Like they were obviously coming down very, very slowly down the runway, because that's what they do, you know, they are pageant queens, you know. And Brooklyn said that this was like a bit of a love letter to her drag mother, you know, because, you know, without her she wouldn't be here. That sort of thing. But I loved the part where Plastique almost crossed over Brooklyn, and then she stopped, backtracked, and then went behind her. So as if to say, you know, mother has to go first, sort of thing, you know, or big sister has to go first, whatever it was. But I just thought that was a really sort of funny little moment what they had in their choreography. They both looked divine in those dresses. They were beautiful, absolutely stunning. I do think that Brooklyn had it very easy though. She picked, you know, the easiest face to paint. But yeah, still absolutely stunning. She was the one who won it, but in my opinion, I think Vanjie should have won it just because of the sheer elevation that she did. Brooklyn is constantly at a high standard, like all the time. Apart from Snatch Game. We won't talk about Snatch Game. But I think that Vanjie just worked so hard, and bless her heart, she even broke down when the judges said how proud that they were of her. She just started crying because all that she wanted to hear. So Rue's asking everybody who should go home. Everyone's saying Evie and Silky. So I'm thinking, okay, so that's gonna be Evie and Silky in the bottom. Boy, was I wrong. I was getting ready for the showdown of the season, part 2, okay? Because I've been wanting to see this for quite some time. Because Silky is constantly saying, I can't wait to be in the bottom with you and I can send you home. I wanted that to be today. I wanted today to be the day that she's in the bottom with Evie and Evie sends her home. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, right, put my knife and fork down. I'm ready. But it was Nina. And I was like, okay. Please, song-wise, anything that's like over the top camp, put it on. Something from a musical, put it on. Don't put on no, you know, like, I don't know, no Mary J. Blige. Don't go putting on no, Eve. Don't go, do you know what I'm saying? Like, none of that. Just something from Broadway. Please. And then what do I hear? Oh. So when I heard that, I'm like, okay. Silky keeps on banging on about what a fierce lip syncer she is. I'm still yet to see this because she should have lip synced a long time ago, but she didn't. So I'm still yet to see this happen, right? So I'm thinking, if she's going to live up to the standard that she says that she is, then Nina is in trouble. Just because it's just not really her style. And it wasn't, you know. That being said, she was still a lot better than Silky. She was a lot more composed. She knew her words. And yet her character was a little bit too happy joy for me for this song. But I still much preferred her performance than Silky's. And that's not just because I just don't particularly like Silky, even though, yeah, she's funny, but she's damn annoying. Taking personal opinions out of it, looking completely from an unbiased point of view, looking at both people, Silky was an absolute hot mess. Nina came with a message, Silky came with a mess. So for starters, Silky's belt just fell off of her waist and it got all tangled up in her feet. And she looked like she's about to fall over, but luckily she saved herself. Because boy, that would have been interesting. So that happened. She did a wig reveal, but it was so sloppily done, and like it wasn't at like a big moment. Do you know what I mean? When you do a wig reveal, it's at a big, powerful moment in the song. This was like, I don't know, mid-verse or something. It was so forgettable. I don't even remember when it was in the song. But there aren't really any big moments in TLC No Scrubs anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, so she did that. So she took off the afro to reveal the ponytail. All right, fine. And then she went up to the back of the stage, cock up her foot on the side of the stage. The holy bit where you have to stroke it and pray that you stay. And so she's lip syncing there for a little bit. And then she goes and does like a split on the floor. And she's like ages to get up. Like she was like me in the morning. Like I take like an hour to change position. I'm not even joking. So like, I'm just thinking, so where is this big powerful lip syncer who also looked like she didn't quite know the words? Like she was just a little bit rusty. Like everyone knows the words to No Scrubs. It even got to a point where Nina accidentally tripped on Silky's afro that was just left on the floor, and I'm just like, this is a hot mess. So Rue literally went, I've made my decision. Meh. And at that point, I thought she was gonna send them both home. But she said, Silky Nutmeg Ganache, you're safe. The way I screamed when the episode ended, I literally went, that's it. I'm actually done. I'm done. I am done. I will finish this series. But after that, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I'll have to see when Drag Race UK comes out. See if I know anybody. Of course, cue Nina, you know, bursting into tears. And so did I. Like, I really, really liked Nina, and I was really, really sad to see her go. So there you have it, guys. That is the end of your Drag Race Lowdown. I hope that you've enjoyed it anyway. Most of the show was really, really good. Most of the show was filled with drama, filled with tea, and filled with a lot of funny moments. It was just the end part that was an absolute disgrace. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss another video. Notice I can actually hit that note now, whereas last week I was like, subscribe. I'm getting over my cold. It's almost gone. I'm like 97% there. Anyway, take care, guys, and I will see you all soon. Mwah. Bye.